And it's not Boxing Day anymore, it's called Inouye Day.
No one-sided beatdown, and I'd say Tapales hurt Inouye a few times as well.
Tapales adjusted his defence.
He'd be a nightmare to try and train for because you don't know what Inouye you're going to get.
Why does he look like he's just gone for a jog?
Fight will be against Errol Spence at 147 pounds.
I think the only thing that beats Inouye is an injury.
I don't think he will.
I don't think there's anything in that fight, and I can't see Spence beating him.
And please, come to the UK and fight.
Okay, welcome back to BoxCast. Today, we're going to review the fight between the Monster and the Nightmare.
The Boxing
Did you
Day.
enjoy it?
Oh, it was great.
And it's not Boxing Day anymore, it's called Inouye Day. And that's credit to you, I think. It has been renamed Inouye Day. Or Monster Day.
Monster Day.
It
was great.
I enjoyed that.
Sat down with me bubble and squeak. House empty. Brilliant.
It was enjoyable. The fight before it was quite good as well, but I don't know their names, so we won't do that one today. But yeah, it was a tough fight, as we said. Marlon Tapales deserves a lot of credit, I think.
I think Inouye, I think Inouye said it's the toughest fight he's had.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it started out with, I'll get my scorecard, but started out in a way as we expected. Starts to hunt him down for the first 2 or 3 rounds. He knocked him down in about the 4th, was it?
Yeah.
And then Tapales sort of took it and then adjusted. He got it back into his corner.
No, Tapales changed the way he boxed after he got knocked down. I found it quite a hard fight to score, to be honest.
I didn't really.
I
give every round to
no, I didn't.
I
didn't give every round to Inouye.
I think I wrote down there was close on. It was close for 2 of the rounds. The 2 rounds after he got knocked down, the 5th and the 6th. I'll go and carry on and I'll load my scorecard.
I thought it wasn't a one-sided beatdown.
No,
it really wasn't a one-sided beatdown, and I'd say Tapales hurt Inouye a few times as well.
I think he I don't know about hurt, but I think he definitely got his notice. I definitely like, because he didn't go in as much as he normally bears down on people like he did to Fulton.
Tapales has got that tricky, wide crouch stance, hasn't he?
Well, the way I'll carry on now, innit? Yeah, because I had the first 3 rounds to Inouye, which I think he was dominant in. But, as they are, they build up the feeling out rounds, but he was the one trying. Tapales was basically, I wouldn't say on the back foot, but he wasn't, doing too much. 4th round, he got caught. So that was the 10-8. And then you thought, here it goes. And I thought it might be by about the 5th or 6th he's going to get out of there. But they adjusted his defense, because in the first 4 rounds he had his hands up.
Yeah, I mean,
high, and he couldn't see the punches, and he was just hitting them. Even though I think they were hitting the gloves and the things.
That's why I thought they weren't scoring punches when they were hitting the gloves and stuff. That's why I was finding it sometimes difficult.
I think they were still doing damage though.
But you can't score a punch if it hits the glove.
But Tapales wasn't really thrown in the first few rounds.
I still found it quite a difficult fight to score, because Tapales, he was landing some nice body shots as well.
Well, I think the rounds he had and the rounds that were close for me were the 5th and the 6th, because then he adjusted his position, because he went from the high guard to lowered his right hand and put his chin into it, and then it took like Inouye a couple of rounds. I mean, I think they were still Inouye rounds, but they were even. I've got them 2 as closer, and then because he adjusted his position through the 5th, and then he sort of had even rounds, and then Inouye by the 7th worked them, sort of started working them out. No, by the 8th, sorry, I put 7 close as well. And then he went back to Inouye, because he basically, Tapales adjusted his defense. Inouye adjusted again, got on top of him again, and then he just basically went. From 9, like round 9 was.
Tapales can take a punch.
Yeah. Well, I think I was of the same opinion. Even I thought it was just going to be. I don't think I messaged you. I think it was just going to go. I thought it was going to go to points.
Yeah, I mean,
a clear win for Inouye for me.
Yeah, I mean, but
points.
Inouye landed some big shots on Tapales, and it wasn't. He didn't get knocked out. It was just an accumulation of shots that put him down. In the end, it wasn't that one punch power that we.
Well, he went back in about the 7th or 8th round. He went back to his high diff guard, or the 9th. He went back to it, didn't he? And that's when Inouye started doing the 1-2, jabbing him, getting enough space and hitting him. So even though it's the glove, you're still getting a bit of the chin.
And Tapales was countering well with some lovely punches, and in close he was working.
That was he was a much better contender than Fulton. Fulton was never. We did not watch long. He was never in it.
No.
I mean, he got a couple of punches in, really. Whereas Tapales was in the fight most of the fight.
Like I say, it wasn't a beatdown. Really wasn't a beatdown. Like I say, I gave Inouye the rounds, but I was finding it difficult to score.
They were close.
Like I say, the whole fight was it was a close fight.
It was a tough fight. He's a tough Filipino. And I think, I don't know if you've seen his post-fight, although it was in like Filipino or whatever. I'm not sure how good the translation is, but based on the translation, so I may be wrong here. He basically said, he goes, it's just the speed, he's just too fast. He goes, he's too fast and too powerful. But he goes, I can take the power, but he goes, you just can't see the punches, they're too fast. And which it is, but the thing I've noticed, he changes his style for every fight. Because that's not how he fought against Fulton. It was into the body, getting him to try and load his hands, then hit the face, or hit the face, then try and lift it, then go to the body. But it was straight shots to the body. Here he was doing his classic hook.
This is why he's so good.
The things, and there's some of those that hurt you watching it, but Tapales took them.
Yeah,
he's a tough guy.
This is why Inouye's so good, because he isn't just that, he's this type of fighter and that's how he fights. It'd be a nightmare to try and train for, because you don't know what Inouye you're going to get.
Well, I think he adjusts for the opposition.
Yeah.
He has indeed. Well, you've taken.
I don't think he just adjusts for the opposition. I think he just adjusts for, I'm going to fight this way. His training team will come up with a fight.
Well, I was just when I've woken up, I was thinking about that this morning. I'm thinking, is it that he adjusts for the fight, or is he just that good that he goes in and thinks, how do I feel about fighting this fight? What way do I want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, he had to go through the gears against the Tapales. I'd say it is.
Well, he said himself in the interview, didn't he? He goes, I didn't think he was going to go down.
No,
because I was surprised he went down in the 10th.
Apart from the Donaire fight, I'd say that's his toughest fight he's ever. He had to work
fight was
for every second of the round. There was no.
Tapales has a lot of credit.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any shame in losing to the monster.
No, there's no shame in it. And he didn't just turn up for the numbers. He
said, I gave all the best I could do. And he's just better.
And you know what? When you lose and you've given your best, you don't mind it.
Well, I think he beats anybody else in the division if Tapales fights like that.
Yeah, you don't mind losing when you've given your best, especially to a superstar.
He's a special guy.
I mean, what is it? 2-weight undisputed.
Yeah, 4-weight world champion, 2-weight undisputed.
There's him and Crawford.
In the space of basically a year, a few days. For those who are pernickety for days, a little bit over a year. But it's only like a week or two over a year. So in about the space of a year, he's become 2-weight undisputed.
There's only him and Crawford that have ever done it.
Yeah. But this guy's taken on the 2 best fighters in his first 2 fights at that weight.
Yeah. You can't knock him for it.
And you still see people commenting and going, who's he fought? And you're like...
What do you mean, who's he fought? God.
There are some very casual so-called fans. If you're any kind of fan of boxing, you cannot deny he's a special talent. Anybody who knows boxing and you see him fight, he is
an extremely special talent. Even if you're a
casual fan, he is special.
I want to see him travel now. Come out of Japan.
Well, I think he's probably going to have... we might as well go on to... Unless you've got anything else to say about the fight, I think we've said most of the stuff you can say.
It was just...
Inouye was Inouye, and Tapales gave him a really good
fight.
Tapales
I think...
deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, I have got one more thing about the fight. I was watching it with Dara, so I'm watching with my son, and he goes to the end, you know when you see them standing there, and you show like Tapales' face, and they show Inouye's, he goes, Dad, why does he look like he's just gone for a jog?
He didn't have a mark on him, did he? Has he got like some mad, like,
so the
face mask that he puts on?
We need to probably put some pictures in on this, but like the fight he had against Fulton, I think we said it on our watch along, that he looks like he's just been out for a brisk walk. In this one, he did look like he had to go for a jog. He's had a little bit of running.
Yeah, but it's not just
but
that.
he no mark on him.
No, that's what. And he got caught.
And he got hit.
Big shots. He really did get hit.
He took a few good. The same body shot that he does. Tapales gave him a back, like the liver shots
and I
with
did
a
notice
good bang.
He
slowed down for him.
Yeah, he took a few backward steps, and I think in the future people will see that.
And he got he got hit a few times. He got caught a few times. I think that's just to show how good Tapales is, not how bad Inouye is.
No, yeah. I mean,
Tapales did basically everything. They've obviously watched him.
We underrated Tapales a little bit, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, we said he was going to be tough. I think we underrated his skill a bit, but we haven't seen that much of him.
I forgot what round I said it would be. I think I said round 11. And you said round 7.
Well, if you said 10, I said 9. And if you said 11, I said 10. I think I was one below you.
I think you said 7 and I said 11. I remember watching it back on the podcast. Because as soon as the fight finished, I thought, who got that right? So I was closer.
Well, credit to you then. You were the closest, didn't it?
If you want to have a bet in the future, take my advice, not Naoya's. No, yeah, great.
Well, I thought he'd break him down. So when he got knocked down in the 4th, I thought, he's going to be about.
You were thinking that
6.
was it, and he kind of come out in round 5, didn't he? At the start,
got like a second wind and adjusted.
Yeah, and
that's credit to him and his corner.
I think Inouye realised quite quickly at the beginning of round 5. Yeah, I'm not going to just.
Well, I don't think
take him out straight away.
He went more for them boxing rather than trying to get him out of there. He tried a little bit in the 5th and thought, this ain't working, and then I'll just box.
Yeah.
So then he boxed for a few rounds. But they went toe-to-toe for the 5th and the 6th. And I think that isn't a great strategy. But to be fair, Tapales got through those 2 rounds.
But that's what I said, wasn't it? You're going to have to stand in the middle of the ring and gain his respect by going toe-to-toe with him.
And I think they're the close rounds, and you could give them either way. I mean,
I think that shocked Inouye a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think there's that many people of that weight can go toe-to-toe with him.
No, but I think that's a way to beat him. It is a way to beat him. I don't think Tapales had the... I think if he was a little bit more of a heavy hitter and you could go toe-to-toe with him, you can get him out of there. If you hit someone on the jaw, it doesn't matter who you are, and you've got power, you will get them out of there. But also, possibly it was Tapales just went, I've had enough of this, and just I'm going to have to...
Well, that's when he shifted. That's when he shifted his position, but he was getting it. He had a good toe-to-toe go. I'm not sure that's good tactics against Inouye. Inouye obviously carrying the power. He's got the power at that weight to hurt. I think he's probably the most powerful at that weight. Excuse me. To, punch out.
What I found interesting was at the end of the fight, he said he's staying at this weight. I think...
That's a nice segue to the next section, which is, who do we think he's going to fight next? Well,
I think he's... Do you know why I think he stays at Super Bantamweight?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's felt the power of Tapales. This is my opinion. And he's realised, another step up.
Sensible. I think there's at least 2 big fights there. There's Lewis Neri and MJ Akhmadaliev.
But I think
the contenders aren't they? One's the number 1. I think Lewis Neri's the number 1 for WBC, and then
it's going to be the IBF to throw the. Because the IBF, I think you've got, 90 days to face your mandatory. I think the IBF mandatory is Goodman from Australia.
Okay.
And he's ranked in the top 10 by all governing bodies.
Mm-hmm.
17-0.
Oh, okay.
I might be wrong, but it's usually the IBF that you have to do your mandatory with.
I think in the end of his fight, he said it's probably going to be about May time and they're already in negotiations. I think there's Akhmadaliev because he wanted his contest against Tapales. Tapales has beaten him. And then there's Lewis Neri is the other one that they're all saying. I think they were speculating even on the commentary that he would be the next fight.
Yeah, I'll just get the rankings up now.
But the thing is, Neri, while you're bringing it up, Neri's been beaten by Figueroa, was knocked out in round 7.
Yeah, so you got...
And he was beaten by Fulton, and Fulton's already been taken care of by Inouye. And Akhmadaliev was a split decision against Tapales. It's how Tapales got the belt.
So the WBO rankings, obviously Inouye's champion. Goodman's number 1, mandatory. Neri's number 2.
I think that 3 of them are on most of the lists.
IBF rankings, obviously Marlon Tapales was the champion now. Inouye's the champion. The mandatory is the Australian government.
Okay.
For the WBC, Neri's the next one.
WBC mandatory, I think.
Yeah, and Goodman's not in the WBC. Obviously, hasn't gone down the WBC route, or the WBA route. So I mean that Ahmed Aliev, it's not a big fight for me, to be honest. It really isn't.
Well, I think he was the up and comer. The one, I think that's the guy they thought was going to fight.
He only had
the winner
12
of Fulton
fights,
and Inouye, isn't he?
I think Goodman's a good fight for him. There's a British fighter there, Davis. Neri, the Mexican.
Well, he's been 2-weight world champion, isn't he? He's bantamweight and super bantamweight champion. He's had a belt. I think Ahmed Ali, because he was the unified champion at super bantamweight, the belt that Tapales took. I think that's why they're saying those two are the main contenders. Because I don't know if you've seen, there's an interesting thing that Inouye said. He goes, I can't get motivated for if it's not
It's got to be a
championship fight.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's had like 21 or something, 22 in a row.
Well, there's no Ring Magazine champion at super bantamweight, so they might throw that in the mix next.
That's got to be Inouye by default.
Yeah.
The champion.
I think he'll fight Goodman next.
Yeah, it depends which of them get it out. They're probably the three fights they could have. I don't think he's going to get.
But it's whether
he's interested.
It's not whether Inouye's interested either. It's whether the likes of a Goodman want to fight Inouye. Because let's be honest, do you want to fight him?
No.
Exactly.
Unless they give me enough dollars to make it sense, I'd happily go and get.
If I'm in that top,
I'm the wrong weight category.
If I'm in that top 5 now at that weight division, I'm going. Do you know what?
I'll wait till he goes up.
I'll wait till he goes up, and then I'm in a good position.
Well, I think the
cowardly.
I think Neri and that Ahmed Ali, the reason they're saying this is because they're both sort of knockout artists. I think they're both about 77-75%.
Yeah, but Ahmed Aliev's only had 12 fights.
Yeah. And the question for me is they've both been beaten by people he's beaten.
Exactly.
Fulton was allegedly the best. He wiped the floor with him, basically. And Tapales gave him a really good fight. He was the best. He's the one, like we said in the preview, who's had he's got better in his last few. And to be fair, he deserved to be in there. Even though I think even we gave him a lot of credit, but we didn't give him. We could have probably given him more.
Credit.
I think he's had them. That's one of the best fights somebody's given against Inouye. And I think that may be why he is going to have a few.
Yeah. Is there a rematch clause? Do you know?
I don't think you get a rematch on that.
Because
all you have to do is look at their faces.
I know, but if there's a rematch clause,
I don't think so.
And if you're Tapales, you go, do you know what? For the first 5 rounds, I did the wrong strategy. And I had success in rounds 6, 7, 8 by changing. Could I do that from round 1?
I still think he gets beat. I think what's going to happen to
he still might get beat.
In about 3-4
he still might
rounds.
get beat. But if there's a rematch clause, he might have to, if there's a rematch clause, there's got to be a rematch.
They're both unified, so I don't think so. I think Inouye gets his say in one of those things. So I don't think that, nobody's brought it up, so we can check that. If anybody knows, please leave a comment.
Yeah. Because usually title fights is rematch clauses. There's always a rematch clause in the title fight. So that might be his next fight.
As much as I favour Tapales, I think no. And I don't think I want to see it. It's not indeed of interest to me to see.
No, but...
To be honest, I don't really care about seeing the others, except I think they're giving him a chance because I think if you've got to beat Inouye, to be honest, anybody at that weight and the division above, I don't think anybody beats him. I think the only thing that beats Inouye is an injury. He goes in injured, he goes in sick, a lucky punch, or,
No, you see, I think he might...
Age and weight. I don't think anything else beats him. I think he's got enough power to carry to next.
The next jump's featherweight.
I think he takes power there.
He might take the power there, but it's whether he can take the power of the other people as well.
Well, I was looking at an interesting thing. He actually walks around, because I think what super bantamweight's about 55 kilos.
Yeah.
Thereabouts. 122 pounds. I think he walks around about 140. 63, 64 kilos is his normal weight. So even fighting on a fight night, he's probably in the 130 somethings. So I think people saying where he goes up to welterweight and all that stuff, I think that's a bit too far.
I don't think.
I think
you know what?
featherweight, maybe super featherweight. I think he's got.
I mean,
but featherweight, I think he's still
I
kind of
think
the 126.
I said in the last podcast we did on him, you know, we could move up through all the weights. I don't think he will.
I don't think anybody can. I don't think he needs to.
I
think if you become undisputed in 3
I
divisions,
think he can move up
you can
to
retire.
featherweight, super featherweight. I think that is
Yeah, I
his
think
limit
that's his
then.
ceiling. I think I said that before. It's 130. I think.
Yeah,
is
I think that is, you know, you'd love him to go for an 8-weight world championship. I don't think it's go up, and I think he'll be a 5-weight
well, there's
world
the
champion.
fan one, isn't it? I think the way they're saying Tank Davis, isn't it? But he's too big.
That's what I mean.
You're going to come up against power, and that can beat you because all you need to be caught by one punch. So that's not a demonstration of boxing skill. I don't know why people bring up those stupid things because it's not a demonstration. I don't think there's anybody as skilled at him in that weight class he's in now. There's nobody a bigger puncher. So, I think he's doing the things to get into the... I think you're right. He's felt a bit of... I don't think he did with Fulton, but I think
I don't think he has. I think he has with Tapales.
And he's realised that, I didn't get this guy out of here as fast as I know most people would have gone. In the lower division, I would have had him out in the 5th. And when he's got hit back, body shots and thingies, I think he's thought, I can feel these. Normally, I don't feel anything. So I think he's acclimatizing, and there's some big fights there relative to that division. I think then the division above, I think he can clear it out, but it's going to be tough. But I think that's why it's good for him to spend a year at this weight.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say he's got about...
But he gets better every fight you see him. There's something new. He shows you something a bit different and a little bit.
I think he's going to have 2 more fights at Super Bantamweight, I reckon.
I think 2024 he's going to stay there, and 2025 he'll go. If he wins both of them, I think he'll vacate and go.
I mean, because
featherweight.
There's some big punches in the featherweight division.
But there's 4 different belt holders, isn't it, in the featherweight?
You know what's really
including our man Lee Wood, isn't it?
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Is the WBO have Fulton ranked number 3 at featherweight?
Yeah, I seen somewhere that he's. Fulton ain't going to be happy if Inouye is up, but I think that he'll clean it up and then get out of there. I'd be interested to see how Fulton does. Has he had a fight since Inouye?
I'm not too sure. Let's have a look.
I think we need to look that up, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some big players in the featherweight division. Really big players.
I mean, there's some good fighters there, but I just don't think none of them are special like Inouye is.
No, they're not.
And it would be nice to see him to go there because I think in this division there's nobody. With not being disrespectful to anybody, I think he's beaten the 2 best guys in this division in his first 2 fights in this division. So I think you've got to. You need to give him some more. I think he's going to get acclimatized and probably slowly build up rather than rushing, which is a good decision as well from his side, from whether it's from him or his team.
How old is he now? 31?
31. See, his competition in this division are all the same age because Tapales was... No, I think he's 30. Tapales was 31. MJ is 29. Going to be 30 fairly soon, I think. And Neri is 29 as well. So they're all about the same level. So the Australian guy,
Goodman.
I don't know what his age is.
He is.
I think he's probably a bit more up and coming. But yeah.
Sam Goodman, Australian, 17 fights, 25 years of age.
Yeah. He's probably the one to follow after them.
Orthodox, 5'6".
Well, the other interesting thing is that MJ's southpaw power puncher and Neri's a southpaw power puncher, so they're all similar to Tapales style.
I wonder.
How tall is Goodman?
5'6".
Okay, so he's a little bit taller because the others are basically the similar size to Inouye. I think MJ's got a slight reach advantage, but not anything. Well,
Seeing if Sam Goodman's got a fight coming up. He's ranked number 1 with the WBO, number 1 with the IBF, ranked 5th with the Ring magazine.
Mm-hmm.
He fought on the 15th of December against Zhonglu. Won a unanimous 12 round decision.
What's his KO percentage?
41%.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a chance.
You never know.
Well, everybody has a chance, but I think the only way to beat Inoue at this one is if you've got a punch and you can get it landed. I don't think anybody outboxes him. Which brings us nicely onto that thing that everybody loves is probably useless, the pound for pound list. We had our ranking of number 1 being Crawford, number 2 being Inoue. And then I think there was some difference of opinion. But has it changed or does it stay the same? Because from my point of view, it's got closer, but I think Crawford is still the best.
I mean, I think Crawford...
I think it's like 1A and 1B. Crawford is
the only reason Crawford stays where he is because of his record and
well, I think he did it first.
And
there's no reason to load him down.
Inoue can become number 1.
Yeah.
He stays at number 2 for now.
And I think my opinion is there's a fair distance between them and the rest. Although my third guy is Usyk, so he could join that hallowed turf of the hallowed ring level of two-weight undisputed champions.
That's it. If we've got a little fight in February coming up for the undisputed heavyweight,
which we'll do another episode.
And if Usyk wins that, you have to put.
I think the 3 of them go there.
Yeah, it's a tough one to. You can't deny that. Then
I don't think he goes above, but I think then the 3 of them are
in their own.
They're in their own.
Yeah,
I think
Inoue for me to go to number 1, move up to featherweight, win a world title.
Yeah.
No, just win a world title at featherweight. He doesn't have to clear it out.
Then he's 5-weight world champion and he's won.
And he goes pound for pound number 1.
Yeah.
But then, that pound for pound list can change over the next 6 months very quickly.
Yeah.
Because if Canelo comes back and, say, fights Bivol and beats him, does Canelo go back in the top 3?
Yeah.
He can. Like I say, you got Usyk fighting little Tyson Fury. So the pound for pound list can change.
Well, I think the 2 of them stay where they are, irrespective. Them 2 only change, like you said, if Inoue moves up a division, which I don't think he's going to do next year, at least not the first part of it. So, and then it depends what Crawford does. So unless Crawford loses and something happens, I don't know who he's fighting because there doesn't seem to be anything on his.
Yeah, there
seems to be toing and throwing. Ennis is calling him out.
I'll have a quick. Bear with me 1 sec.
Spence was supposed to be having a rematch, but that's gone quiet. But I think them 2 are in their class of their own until we see what that happens in February, and then them 3 could be in a class of their own. But I think it still stays as 1, 2, 3, and then the rest is as it is. So, yep. So
right. Well, according to Boxing News. Oh, because the IBF stripped him of the belt, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'll read it. Terence Crawford says his next fight will be against Errol Spence at 147 pounds rather than 154. But he's not sure about the date because Showtime will no longer broadcast boxing events after this year. The way Crawford talked, said a mere match taking place at 147. It doesn't appeal to me at 147.
No.
I
don't think there's any reason to have a rematch because it wasn't a close fight in any way, shape or form, and everything at Crawford was better. And at the same weight, I can't see a different outcome.
He's going to be, and it says here, Crawford wants unbeaten. The fight that Crawford wants is Canelo Alvarez, as he doesn't want to face a drained, weighted Spence again.
Yeah. There's nothing in that fight for him.
It's all about the networks. that one.
So I think they basically say the same.
Yeah.
Not the Crawford ain't going to be doing anything other than if he fights Spence again, that doesn't change anything. Beating him, he doesn't gain anything. Losing is the only thing when he loses out, then he drops. But I don't think there's anything in that fight, and I can't see Spence beating him. So yeah, I think they stay the same. And then I've got Usyk as number 3, and you've got Usyk as well. You know you want to.
It is Usyk.
I think them 3 are in their own level. There's the top 2, then there's Usyk by himself, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
And everybody else is just on your opinions. I think those 3 factually are the 3 best because of where they are and what they can achieve. The first 3 who could be undisputed in two weight classes in the 4-belt era. So 2 of them have done it. It's on Usyk now. No pressure, mate.
That's a
wrap.
That's a tough call whether Usyk can do it, but he will.
But that's another video.
Yeah.
So,
as for Inouye, yeah,
the monster reigns supreme
again. And please come to the UK and fight. I want to see him in the UK.
I don't think it's going to happen at Super Bantamweight. I think when he goes to featherweight, I think then there's enough of him.
Yeah, I mean, because you've got like...
So he'll probably go the US, UK.
There's quite a few good featherweights
and the different
UK.
sort of nationalities. I think then he can go round.
But if he's making enough money in Japan, he'll stay there.
I don't think there's anybody bigger than him at Super Bantam that's going to... He's fought the 2 biggest. And I don't think they had to come to his country to fight. I think the same for anybody else there. Yeah. Unless he wants to go somewhere else, I don't think he needs to. I think a featherweight, then he's got an opportunity to go.
Soon find out.
But we'll soon find out. But yeah, fantastic performance, Monster. Fantastic performance to Tapales. You deserve a lot of credit. There's no shame in losing to the Monster.
He really, really does. And you know what? I haven't watched much of Tapales, but I will be watching. Next time he's fighting again, I'll be watching that fight.
I think on that performance, he beats everybody else in that division. So I think in a way, he beats everybody else in that division.
But yeah, I look forward to May when the Monster says he's back.
Well, we got a bit to do in between them, but yeah, we will watch him again.
Yeah, definitely.
No problem. Thank you very much. Thank you, people, for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Who do you think he's going to be fighting next? And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.